Hi, this is Pierina from Flickplay, where we are revolutionizing the future of how we play and socialize. Today, you're tuning in on Edge of NFT, your gateway for the latest in digital play and Web3 innovation.
Hey, Web3 curious listeners, stay tuned for today's episode to learn how Flickplay is revolutionizing the digital toy industry with their latest Baby Shark and Bratz partnership. The impact of Bandai Namco's investment in Flickplay and what it means for the future of digital interactions. And finally, how our speaker was able to create worlds in her house as a child, which ultimately led to her creating a way for others to do the same with blockchain. Time to cue the intro.
Welcome to the Edge of NFT, the podcast that brings you the top 1% of Web3 today and what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts of the business side and also the human element of how Web3 is changing the way we interact with the things we love. This podcast is for the dreamers, disruptors, and doers who are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next.
Welcome to the Edge of NFT, the podcast created by Jeff Kelly, Ethan Jenny, and Josh Krieger, featuring a variety of top-notch guests and other hosts like myself, Richard Carthon. It's another production of the Edge of Company, a quickly growing media ecosystem empowering the pioneers of Web3 tech and culture. We're responsible for other groundbreaking endeavors like Outer Edge LA Innovation Festival. Today's sponsored episode features Pina Marino, who is the CEO and founder of Flickplay and is a trailblazer in the nexus of design and technology. Parina's career took off in architecture with Frank Gehry, who then shifted to the immersive tech world, creating VR strategies for luxury brands. Before starting Flickplay, she launched the pioneering 3D printed product line sold at Nordstrom. Flickplay is revolutionizing digital interactions. This innovative social app blends creativity with digital ownership, allowing users to animate their everyday environments with digital characters. Users can craft videos, showcase their digital collections, and dive into vibrant community. Flickplay not only connects fans, but also transforms everyday moments into interactive, gamified experiences. Parina, it's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. We just came off of a busy travel season, going all over the place. I know we both were in the Middle East there for a while in the UAE, going to both Token 2049 and
Yeah.
also going to Outer Edge Riyadh, which I know you went and attended. Hopefully, you had a great time. How was that experience?
Oh, it was amazing. It's just so fascinating to be a part of an evolving ecosystem, right? See, being able to see firsthand what the future holds for in that territory and the hungriness to make it be a living and breathing ecosystem. So, really excited to be a part of it and see it firsthand.
Absolutely. It was a really awesome experience. I know Flickplay had a booth at the event and definitely got a lot of love, and people were very curious about everything that was going on. And now everyone listening is to learn a little bit more about all the amazing things Flickplay has going on. But before we do, let's dive into you a little bit. You have a really awesome background, and as the CEO and founder of Flickplay, how do you blend your background in design and technology to create this unique platform? And then what initially inspired you to dive into this world of digital toys and interactions?
Yeah. I think it's very much my life mission to build better human experiences. My career started in architecture, and while early in my journey with Flickplay, people wouldn't really understand how architecture really connects into the technology space and the impact that it can have. As I always say, that as movies become games and games become something that we don't yet understand what they will be, understanding and being able to bring those key touch points of the experiences or the subconscious experiences architects bring to the buildings that we inhabit every day into the digital realm was something that I was very intrigued and passionate about, especially when transitioning in my career from architecture to developing a strategy for premium VR experiences, and that was just the seed that continued to grow as I start realizing some of the other consumer trends that were shifting how we interact both in the real world and with digital experiences.
Yeah, and I think you've done a really great job of taking that passion and encapsulating it into all the things that Flickplay is doing, and being able to come up with some really awesome partnerships. And I want to start with one that is, I think, really awesome, which was with Pickfong, which introduced Baby Shark's digital toys, with which was absolutely incredible to get that going, which has then led to a domino effect of some other really cool partnerships that we'll get to in a second. So can you tell us more about this collaboration and what does it bring to all the Flickplay users?
Yes, absolutely. Pink Fun and specifically Baby Shark was the first licensed IP that we launched in the ecosystem. And when you think about a character that millions of kids have seen in a screen, in a 2D format, in a screen, and now that character is gets to be part of their everyday experience, not in the form of a physical toy that do not have interactions, but as a living creature, but now within the context of their culture, where they live, and what they do every day. It was a very exciting activation to bring to life. And we're super excited to see some of the early results from onboarding the community from YouTube into Flickplay, and now from Flickplay to some other exciting activations that we will be launching that will cross between physical and digital.
Which is really awesome. I know myself, Baby Shark took off by storm years ago, and I have a niece and nephew, and they, of course, both know that song and are very familiar with the ecosystem. But there's some really cool types of unique interactive features that the Baby Shark digital toys that enhances the user's engagement. So, what do those kind of features look like?
Yes, totally. So one of them is that oftentimes people confuse digital characters or digital toys with filters because they're so acquainted to being able to just click a button and see something pop in their Snap camera or Instagram camera. But digital toys on Flickplay come to fluctuation with a whole new layer of activation. So you're able to control how the character interacts in the real world. There is, I would say, like a 6 or 10 plus move that come connected to the characters, so that you're able to really craft stories in ways that you haven't been able to do before. I think I always bring or look to contextualize the experience as when you play with physical toys. Normally, when you have a toy in your hand, you're crafting a story in your head and you're using your hands to shape how that character moves through the real world. With Flickplay, we're taking things to a whole new level by enabling you to have an idea of the experience that you want to have and take it out of your head and actually contextualize it in the form of a video, right? So your creativity gets conveyed into how Flickplay as a tool enables you to bring it to life. And with the Flickplay product, the moment that you bring those memories and moments to life is not only an experience and a moment for yourself, but a connecting, I would say, vein with the broader Baby Shark community. So every story that you share, other communities that love as much as you do the character are able to interact with them, and you're able to connect not only with the character, but with a community of fans that is also going through the same experience that you are.
I think that's really well said. And one of the interactions that I think is a core component of this is storytelling. So when you think about people, whether it's children or whomever that's playing with some sort of toy, they're putting together some sort of story in real time that they are visualizing. And now you're adding the digital component to bring that story to life, both in the physical and digital world. And with that type of storytelling, it's only makes sense that you're able to do this next collaboration that I'm excited to speak more about, which is the Bratz partnership, which is now live. Bratz obviously is a large brand, has a physical doll that you can use, but now can begin to tell some of those stories that people are creating within the community. So, like, what are some of the different experiences that Flickplay users are able to expect with this Bratz collaboration?
Yeah, the evolution from Baby Shark to launching Bratz was pretty fascinating because on top of the core functionality of storytelling, there were other capabilities that we add to the collection, as participating in weekly raffles for physical toys, which starts activating the core fan base at a completely different level, aside from being able to not only storytell with the characters but also play with them in an immersive world like the sandbox, right? So that each of those capabilities really deepen the connection of fans with the characters, but it also extends the time in which fans engage with their characters in their everyday experience. And as we live in a world that we're constantly fighting for time and attention, and how IP holders are able to stay connected to the DNA and experience that their audiences have every day, we become that connecting layer between fans' everyday experience and the characters that they love and that they actually connect their identity to, especially Bratz.
Yeah, and I love that. And to speak to some of those different properties and cool experiences, you actually have a video that you just dropped, and I think it does a really cool way of like showing some of those things. So we'll pause real quickly to show that video.
Yeah, let's do it.
And now for a quick word from our sponsor before we dive into the next segment. Are you ready to take your sports predictions to the next level? Look no further than maincard.io, the fantasy management platform that's taking the blockchain world by storm. With MainCard, every card is a ticket to excitement. You can predict sport outcomes, trade cards in the marketplace, and challenge opponents in thrilling weekly duels. And don't wait. Head to maincard.io now and start earning rewards with your NFTs because it pays to be early. And now back to today's episode.
Who are you, really?
I'm you. I'm me. I'm everything you wanna be.
Everybody now, time to show the whole world what we're all about. We're the girls with a passion for fashion.
Are you single?
We'll always be there.
Does it spark joy? Yes. Joy? Yes.
Talking about best friends.
Are you ready? Yes, we are.
Chance to believe, make it real. Everybody now, time to show the whole world what we're all about. We're the girls with a passion for fashion. Bratz will always be.
This is where I actually really live, in my closet.
Style and how we feel. Talking about best friends. Together we can do anything.
All right, so obviously that was an amazing video. For all those listening, obviously they didn't get the visual of it. So just a reminder to go over on YouTube, subscribe, and check out the videos that are out here. But kind of describe, what were some of the things that kind of just happened in that video?
Yeah. When as you see, that video was made really to convey the fans' experience with the digital dolls, and what we have been able to uncover with the Bratz community. It's pretty fascinating because you're talking not only about a community that have super fans of the characters and that they connect with the characters at an identity and at a first person identity level, but you're also talking with a community that are highly collectors, right? And some of our users own 60 plus different dolls. Some of them have the full collection of dolls since the inception of the brand. And when you start uh, uh, tapping into, well, how do I tell a doll owner that owns 60 plus dolls that now there is a new type of doll that has a lot of different interactions and that they might feel threatened or that they might feel that it will compete with their beloved, precious physical dolls. And what we saw that these were open questions that we had. How can we educate them to understand that we are not having one product vertical compete with the other one, but that they are highly complementary to each other? And what you see in by the way, every video that is in that clip is user generated, meaning that we did not create the videos ourselves. We just combine all the different parts of the video. And when you see how fans are actually merging their stories with their digital dolls and physical dolls, that was our aha moment, because on one side they could record their physical doll just showing a face expression, but then they would have the digital talking or reacting to that face expression. So then you start seeing how digital dolls are becoming an amplifier of those expressions, that those reactions that are in your head, but that now are seated in a piece of video that gets to tell the story in a much more clear way. And so that has been fascinating to see how the next generation of storytelling will be powered by not only physical or digital products, but the combination of the two. It's been our vision and mission since day one, but also how this new product category becomes a new way of collecting, a new way of engaging with brands at different levels and in different ways.
I love it because you're blending so many different eras of types of people and interactions that they're having. Whether you're a collector, like you said, that has every single type of brat with over 60 plus, or if you're brand new coming into the space, getting your first Bratz doll and figuring out how you want to tell a story or engage with the community to create this really cool narrative and then see what the rest of the community thinks about it, get that feedback. It is amazing. And the fact that that video was all user generated is awesome, right? Like, it's because when you have people that are going and creating the content and getting the vision, it makes other people be creative. I know personally, when I go and see visuals and opportunities, it sparks my own creativity and
Yeah.
makes me want to go and create my own.
Yes.
But to
We
create
get
this full,
mesmerized.
go ahead.
We get mesmerized every day when we see what people create. There was a portion in that clip where one user picked this amazing audio from a movie where one individual is telling the other one, who are you? And the response is, it's me, it's you, I'm everything that you want to be, or a combination of those words. And our heads were going to explode because we're like, oh my God, that is exactly what the digital dolls are, right? It's a physical doll that cannot move, asking a fully animated character, who are you? And the digital character having the opportunity of fully express themselves. It's, I'm you, I'm me, I'm everything that you want to be, right? And it was such an epiphany, and we just continue to discover some of those pockets within the stories users create.
That's so incredible. And being able to do that, though, to capture that really cool moment, I'm sure there's a lot of challenges between blending both that physical with the
Yeah.
digital and getting this all together. I know education is a one big piece that like helps to bridge that gap. But what are some of the other ways that Flickplay is helping to bridge that?
It's so important. I always give my team the example of Tesla. Tesla, before they sold a car, they had to sell their vision for what electric vehicles would become, right? And I think, and they spend so much time and energy purely educating people before selling the product. The product looked beautiful, but they had to sell the why. And just like when we transition from console games to mobile games, and within mobile games, free to play became a distribution a strategy for the masses to be able to adopt the products or the games that were being created, we, as a middle layer between real world and digital worlds, we're looking to the different ways in which we can connect with fans where they are at. We are exploring launching collections of trading cards where when you unpack the card, you get a QR code to get the digital character. And we have very close strategies on the roadmap with our license partners to be able to integrate more and more digital characters into the footprint that they create both digitally and in the real world, events, movie launches. So I think that when you think about digital characters, digital toys as a new product category, it's not an isolated vertical. It kind of like connects with every touch point that brands have, because now for the first time in history, brands are able to actually understand not only who buys the product, but also how consumers engage with that product in their everyday experience, because it's digital. And that just unlocks a whole new generation of stories they can craft and experiences they can craft for their fans.
Absolutely. And I think what's really cool about what you just posed, I want to go back to for a second, is the example of Tesla. Like they had a vision that they really had to go for, especially when they were initially coming to market and was having to, before they had their first product, of where this was going to go and grow. And one of your investors that really saw that vision and I think was really cool to jump on was Bandai Namco, who has done a tremendous amount of really cool things. So how was it being able to, have them come and be part of the Flickplay journey, and what kind of doors does that help open for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing to have them on board. They are not only a super strong IP owner in Asia, but they also understand fans at a different level. They are game developers. They understand how to touch fans in a very 360 way. And just you can imagine how many Web3 platforms have come to them in Asia looking to partner with them and looking to explore opportunities to bring their IP to life within the Web3 ecosystem. And it was such an honor that they were able to see our vision. They were able to understand where we were heading and how authentic we were building for the community, rather than just to capitalize on the early market. And I think like that's where the alignment happened. Our commitment towards creating an authentic fan experience and using Web3 technology as a underlying technology to power interoperability and the next generation of experiences driven through ownership, yet like really staying authentic to what matters to fans and how can we really onboard the masses on it. So I think from a vision standpoint, there was a lot of alignment. So the partnership started through an investment, and we continue to work on developing ways in which we will be integrating their IP into the ecosystem.
Which is awesome. And like you said, like really huge brand in Asia that has worked on all types of incredible IP. So they saw the vision, and clearly things are already starting to happen, right? Between what's happening with Baby Shark, what's happening with Bratz, other things on the horizon, which I now want to tap into is, you're already off to a really hot start. You have a lot of really awesome things happening within Flickplay, but there's a lot of year left, and there's a lot of things I know that are probably under wraps. You can't talk about all of them, but I'm sure there's a few. So what's next for Flickplay?
Yes, as I mentioned, we're looking for different ways to reach the masses through digital toys. So we're exploring the combination of online to offline. Expanding our distribution strategies with our IP partners. We are very much focused on not rushing through launches of IPs. Even though we have like over 5 different licensing deals, we haven't even announced yet. But yet we're really focused on building a deep experience and understanding with the great partners that we have already launched, how can we deepen the connection of fans with the characters, so that every release that we do comes with exponential success. So far our partners are super excited about the results that we have gotten, and we look forward to continue to launch new collections of digital characters, so fans can continue to build their collection. We will actually launch next week accessories, so people will be able to unlock artifacts from Bratz. Bratz has a very popular TikTok series, and we are bringing to the collectors certain artifacts that didn't make it to the show, but that they have a background story with the characters, and this is kind of bringing a new piece of the Bratz world to fans and enable them to use them not only as an artifact that they can collect, but as a tool to explore self-expression, creativity, and stories.
There's so many unique ways that the IP that you have is going to be able to amplify uh,
Yeah.
so many different creative uses in different use cases. And I think that's one of the things that has the Flickplay community so excited and consistently creating this new and amazing content. And I know that there's probably more ways that people can be joining. And I know there's all kinds of creative ways that I believe sometimes there's like contests. I believe that sometimes there's like things within the community where people get involved in various ways. Like, what are some of those different interactions that when people come into the community, they start to engage?
Yes, we have community members that are literally buying digital characters back to back by just participating in content challenges and activating their characters. So we release weekly challenges for community members to be able to storytell based in different themes. This represents an opportunity for them to be able to learn new ways of bridging these two worlds and the two things that they love, which is the places they go and the characters they love. We have a combination of community activations that we do. We have a live stream that we do across social platforms every Friday to be able to show new ways for fans to interact with the characters. We run giveaways. And we also have an incredible ambassador program where anyone that is a part of it is because they have shown to be like a strong advocate and I would what we call like a Flickplay pro at storytelling with the characters, and they get profit shares from every toy that they sell among their community through the content they create. So there's so many different levels and layers of engagement directly with Flickplay and through the activations that we have released. But as well, if you are more of a hardcore gamer and you want to be able to socialize or play with your character online, the Sandbox is one of our interoperable partners. So if you own a Bratz character, you're able to onboard yourself as a Bratz character in the Sandbox by owning a character or purchasing a character on Flickplay. So there are multiple activation points. Some of them are more, I would say, handhold by the Flickplay platform, and some of them are more streamlined through our interoperability capabilities.
That is so cool to the interoperability piece, being able to go to different cross-platform and engage in different ways, whether that's playing video games, whether you are a content creator just want to put out some really awesome content and keep doing the different challenges that you have. There's a lot of ways to engage. And so, I really do appreciate you kind of diving into Flickplay, talking about all these amazing opportunities that are within it and some of the amazing things on the roadmap. But now I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you. So we're now about to dive into our next segment, which has to do with Edge Quick Hitters. A quick word from our sponsors who's ready to navigate the cutting edge of tomorrow's legal landscape. Because at Zuber Lawler, they're not just attorneys, they're visionaries. With expertise in emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, and the metaverse, they're paving the way for you to seize the future. For mergers and acquisitions to IP, their selective team delivers strategic solutions tailored to the ever changing world of technology. Join us at Zuber Lawler, where the future meets the law at zuberlawler.com. Back to the episode. Edge Quick Hitters are a fun and quick way to get to know you a little bit better. They are 10 questions, and we're looking for a short, single, or few word response. But feel free to expand if you get the urge. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. What is the first thing you remember purchasing in your life?
Probably a cookie at school. I
Nice.
think so. Yeah.
Nothing like some treats. I know. I think one of my first things was buying some candy. So I definitely feel you on that. What is the first thing you remember selling in your life?
I think stickers at school. I could make them and sell them
So,
at school.
so you'd make some stickers and go sell them to some of your like classmates and
Yeah,
stuff.
I could cut out magazines, put the transparent sticky paper, and sell the stickers. I
That's so cool. Entrepreneur from early days.
know.
What is the
I got a
most
couple of
recent?
citations.
Nice. What is the most recent thing you've purchased?
Probably, a coffee. Yeah, downstairs a coffee.
Nice. Gotta have that caffeine. What is the most recent thing you've sold?
What did I sold recently? Well, aside from digital toys, live, um, probably a chair that I wasn't using, but I'm sure that probably we got a few sales online for digital toys since then. So probably
Nice.
that.
No, real cool. I think I've recently had to sell some of my furniture as well. So it's a good time. People are out here looking for stuff. What would you considered or what would you consider your most prized possession?
I think a jewelry piece that from my grandmother.
Nice. That's cool. Is it a necklace or a bracelet? Necklace. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, if you could buy anything in the world, digital, physical, service, experience, etc., that is currently for sale, what would it be?
That's a hard one. Probably my dream house, like my dream lot to build my dream house, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
I that's actually top of my priority list right now too. It'd either be like the most like travel experience ever, or
Yeah.
getting that house. And like right now, like I'm kind of leaning more towards the
Yeah.
house. So I feel
Well,
you on that.
probably I want to travel, but I'm so tired of traveling for work that is completely out of my trail of thought right now. So I'm thinking about grounding rather than exploring. But yeah, that too. Just traveling and getting to know all the amazing spots of the world.
No, definitely. For everyone listening, Perina travels a lot. She's everywhere, and it's awesome. She's definitely being a good CEO and at being at all the events. But yes, you travel a tremendous amount.
Yeah,
But if you could pass on one of your personality traits to the next generation, what would it be?
I would say probably creativity and resilience.
Two really
Yeah,
good ones. Both of those which you need for Flickplay. So absolutely.
or
If you
anything you
could,
do in life.
this is true. On the opposite side, if you could eliminate one of your personality traits for the next generation, what would it be?
um, probably probably uh, over rationalizing in some aspects. I think like I'm very delusional in some aspects and overly rational in others. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel you on that. There's a balance. It's definitely a balance, but yeah, it's a good one. Um, what did you do just before joining us on the podcast?
I was in a call with Pink Fun talking about new products. So
Nice.
right on.
Got some new cool stuff on the horizon.
Yeah.
What will you be doing right after this podcast?
Probably connecting with the team about next steps for new products.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So we always like to wrap up with a bonus question. And for today's bonus question, since you are doing a lot of really creative partnerships with both, physical and digital, and getting that nice digital in there, growing up, what was your favorite toy and why?
My favorite toy. My favorite toy. So probably video games. Like I love playing video games. Like I was like huge with video games. Yes. So I love video games. I love dolls. I absolutely love dolls. And I love building worlds in my playroom. Like I could literally just transform the room into a universe. So yes, so
Oh,
actually
that's
the two,
so
like both digital and physical, yeah.
Yeah, no, that is incredible. If you could, if you don't mind sharing, like, what were the kind of worlds you were creating? Were they things of fiction? Were they like, oh, you have a visual of like, here's what the other world could look like, and now you're trying to like make something from like looks like Spain or something, or what would those worlds look like?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that as a kid, I would just, take the couch and this segment is, I don't know, a restaurant, and this segment is a house, and this other spot is someone else's house. So I could just try to create different environments in the room and just move around the room and imagine stories with the toys. But I love, like I remember having this huge box, and I could just like flip it upside down, and there were all kind of little like what ingredients, right? So like a little kitchen or a little something else, and I would just put them all and create spaces for the dolls. I would invite my friends, and we would each create one and compete with each other. So mostly like that, not fiction, but mostly about bringing to life spaces that we could actually play and create stories with.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's just cool that you're able to bring a lot of that creativity into the future of what you're now building with Flickplay. So all full circle,
Yeah.
and definitely appreciate you and sharing all those answers with us on this quick hitters. And now we want to go over into the segment, which is one of my favorites, which is the shout out section. So this is your moment to shout out any and everyone that might be behind the scenes helping to make all the amazing things happen, but don't necessarily get called out as much. So this is your moment to share some love.
Yes, I think, let's see. I mean, definitely all of our early believers, when you're creating something that doesn't exist, it's just so incredible to be able to count with people that trust whatever is just in your head. So being able to show appreciation for some of our early supporters, Muse Capital, Monica, Vidal, some of those like early 0 to 1 supporters that join our journey and that have enabled us to get here. So I would say them.
That's awesome. And it's definitely very humbling too to have someone who sees the vision that you're giving and be along for the journey. So definitely an amazing one. So for all those who are listening, they're fired up about Flick Play. They want to be able to go play with their baby shark. They want to be able to go play with Bratz. How can they go learn more? How can they become part of your community? Where are some places that they can become more involved?
Absolutely. So you can find all of our different toy collections on our website, flickplay.co, or on our mobile app, Flickplay. You can find that in the App Store. You can also follow us across our social domains, Flickplay app on Twitter, Flickplay on Instagram, and my personal domain is Merino Pierina, my last name and my name.
Awesome. Well, everyone listening, make sure to go check that out. Go part of the communities. I know I'm excited to continue to look at all the amazing things that are being built over on Flickplay. And yeah, so we've reached the outer limit of Edge of NFT for today. Thanks for exploring with us. We've got space for more adventures on this starship. So invite your friends and recruit some cool strangers that will make this journey all so much better. How? If you're listening, go to Spotify or iTunes right now, rate us, and say something awesome. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, join over 100,000 other followers by hitting the subscribe button and passing this episode on to a friend or two. Lastly, be sure to tune in to the next time with more great Web3 content. Thanks again for sharing this time with us today.
The views and opinions expressed on Edge of NFT reflect solely those views and opinions of the show hosts and its guests. Please make sure to do your own research. Our show is not financial advice. You understand that you are using any and all information available on or through this podcast at your own risk. Whenever making financial decisions, we recommend doing your own research and talking to your accountant for financial advice. From time to time, we may feature sponsored content on the show for which we receive value, and we may share links for which we receive a commission if you make a purchase through one of those links. Refer to our website, www.edgeofnft.com, for our full disclaimer, terms and conditions, and privacy policy.
Keep listening.